And before we go today, time for some reaction from a Chinese cartoonist to the recent woes of celebrity internet users in China, known as Big Vs. The cartoon today is by Su Jun. It's published on the QQ.com website, and if we have a look at the picture here, you can see that big golden coloured V and all those unfortunate people falling into it. One person holding out his arms there, sort of proclaiming or saying something, holding forth in some way. Another one desperately grabbing onto one of the arms of the V in an attempt to escape from it. The Big V, to explain, is a verified user of Sina Weibo. That's a sort of an extremely popular Chinese equivalent of Twitter, a microblogging site with hundreds of millions of users. And Big Vs are people whose identity has been verified as sort of leaders in their field, and they can have from hundreds of thousands to actually tens of millions of followers or fans, as they're known. So very influential when they write or tweet on this particular system. Now, recently China's Supreme Court brought out an interpretation of the law which said that anybody who put something on the internet, mainly on microblogs, which was proven to be false or a false rumor, as they called it, that was reposted 500 times or viewed 5,000 times, could end up in jail for up to 3 years. Now, this comes in a strong campaign from the authorities in China against what are called rumors on the internet, rumor mongering on the internet, but it obviously also covers a lot of statements that would be made which would not necessarily be considered friendly to the powers that be. The main target of the campaign seems to be the Big Vs at the moment. In fact, a few weeks ago, China Central Television organised a conference to which were invited many of these celebrity bloggers. They talked about responsibility on the internet. The conference was sort of called Being Responsible on the Internet. Within a few days after that, one of the people who actually appeared on that, a Chinese-American businessman called Charles Sui Manzi, was arrested for soliciting a prostitute, illegal in China, although it does go on all the time. But very shortly afterwards, he was seen confessing on television, and then after that, it seemed to change the focus of the investigation. He was shown again on television publicly, very meekly trumpeting the official line and saying that he had been irresponsible and that he felt that the free speech on the internet could not supersede the laws. So a very heavy campaign coming against those Big Vs. Shortly after that, another gentleman, a businessman, entrepreneur called Wang Gongchuan, was again taken from his house on the charges of, detained on charges of causing a disturbance in public. And it seems that the interpretation is that the internet now is being seen as a public space where any sort of assembly online, if you like, can be considered a breach of the law. And a further example, the property developer Pan Shiyi, another of these Big Vs with millions of followers, was seen sort of stuttering through a line on television where he was interviewed and again trotted out the line that people should be more responsible online. Many of the Big Vs have panicked at this, and there has been a sort of a trend to people try to unverify their names. People have been scrubbing posts that they've made in the past that they feel could be reposted or get them into trouble. And the authorities have said very clearly that they want to clamp down on what they see as very influential people passing on rumours and being, as they call it, irresponsible online. And there have also been calls for, almost in military terms, of taking the high ground of the internet and taking the battle of the authorities and the government and indeed the Communist Party against thoughts or opinions that would not necessarily be in line with its own. So that is the take of that cartoonist, Su Jun, on the woes of those celebrity internet bloggers, the Big Vs, in China at the moment.